lives by using the Coast Guard or the National Guard to save black people. Black people are killing black people.
And that is the classic example of a MAGA Karen, an old white woman pulling over to scream out her window about black people to a group of veterans peacefully protesting in our nation's capital. And trust me, she has only just begun, but fear not. I've got the full clip to play for you, which will include a roadside lesson on federal law that I will happily expand on. So hit subscribe to Really American Media because class is in session, and one of your professors today is Russell Ellis, also known online as the Jolly Good Ginger, and he is a veteran, one that is disgusted by what Trump is doing with our military by turning them into a domestic police force and using them like Darth Vader would use stormtroopers.
About 2,200 National Guard troops seen patrolling the nation's capital, spotted at train stations and outside national monuments. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says some of those troops are armed.
They're armed, capable of defending themselves and others if need be, supporting law enforcement, and we're proud to be there, sir.
The Guard stationed around tourist attractions and the metro, not in Washington's most high crime areas, according to reports. Police officials say crime in D.C. is at a 30-year low. Despite that, the president is calling the deployment of the National Guard troops a measure to address out-of-control crime in the nation's capital, also saying Chicago desperately needs help. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker urging the president to back down.
This is not about fighting crime. This is about Donald Trump searching for any justification to deploy the military in a blue city, in a blue state, to try and intimidate his political rivals.
I really wish all of that was from some dystopian movie about a future America where a dictator takes over and everything goes to hell. But as you're well aware, it's all too real now that we elected our first king. Nice job, MAGA. So it's no surprise that a group of level-headed veterans would be protesting in D.C. I just don't think they expected their next battle to be with a MAGA Karen.
So this lady stopped because she's upset that we're flying upside down flags. She said, "Why are you flying upside down flags?" We told her that this country's in distress because of a military occupation and that we are military veterans protesting this military occupation. And here's how the conversation went.
Yeah, spoiler alert, that conversation does not go well.
I get that you're a Donald Trump supporter, but the Posse Comitatus Act says that the United States military cannot be used in domestic law enforcement.
When did you serve?
The Posse Comitatus Act says that the United States military cannot be used in domestic law enforcement purposes. I'm not surprised that you don't know.
Yeah, I'm not surprised either, but in fairness, a lot of Americans don't know what it is either, and I will elaborate on that in a moment. But this is the part where Karen started yelling about black people, which never comes off in an intelligent way, probably because it's not coming from an intelligent person.
The problem that it is using them with you guys. He's saving lives. Okay? Donald Trump is saving lives by using the Coast Guard or the National Guard to save black people. Black people are killing black people, okay? And this government...
And at this point, I just feel bad for that poor dog she's dragging around. He clearly does not want there to be any guilt by association going on, especially now when his MAGA Karen dog mom goes into full meltdown mode and epitomizes MAGA by both breaking the law and waving her middle finger at veterans. Or maybe she's just telling us what her IQ is.
Oh, wait, I thought you weren't wasting your breath on us anymore. You're blocking a bus lane. You're in a bus lane, you criminal. You're blocking a bus.
All right, serious question. Does MAGA realize how embarrassing they are, or do they just not care? And I'm sure the correct answer is both. And much like the virus that they are, it's easy to catch, but hard to get rid of.
And why are you still here? If you're not wasting your breath on me, why are you still here? Why are you? If you're not wasting your breath on me, why are you still here? Goodbye. Goodbye.
Goodbye indeed. And feel free to let the door hit you on the way out. Oh, hey, we just got this new picture in to show us where that Karen went off to. Oh, good. I'm glad she made it safely. But white is not very flattering on her. But I digress. That whole unhinged rant brought up the topic of a posse comitatus, which is a federal law that is supposed to prevent this exact thing that we're seeing our dictator in chief trying to get away with. So, what is it, you ask? Huh? Oh, thank you for asking.
That's a federal law that generally prohibits the use of the United States Army and Air Force to enforce domestic laws within the United States unless expressly authorized by the Constitution or Congress. Its goal is to limit military involvement in civilian affairs. Some historical context, because I think it's certainly relevant. Passed in 1887 at the end of Reconstruction, the Posse Comitatus Act was a response to concerns about federal troops being used to police the southern states. It was designed to reinforce the principle of civilian control over law enforcement and to prevent the military from being used as a national police force.
And that last part is the key. It's there to prevent our military from being used as a national police force. Sound familiar? And yeah, the National Guard is part of our military. And this argument that there's a crime epidemic in Washington, D.C. or Chicago is obviously total garbage, and one that our next president and current governor of California addressed yesterday in his newly found brilliant fashion.
I hope the President of the United States would look at the facts. Just consider Speaker Johnson's state and district. Just look at the murder rate. That's nearly 4 times higher than California's. In Louisiana, this Speaker Johnson, 4x higher. I'm just offering, again, you've not seen this on Fox News, so President may not be familiar with these facts. So I want to present some facts to the President of the United States, and imagine this is alarming to the President to learn these facts, particularly Speaker Johnson, who's been such a strong partner and ally in these efforts.
Spot on, America's favorite governor, spot on. And Bill Maher called all of this a slow-moving coup on last week's show, and we addressed that on this week's episode of the Vocal Minority Podcast.
If there was a slow-moving coup, let me just describe some of the steps, and you tell me if I'm being paranoid. First, create a masked police force. Get people used to looking at that. Normalize snatching people off the street. Get them used to that. Normalize seeing the National Guard and the military on the street. Then start talking about crime in the capital, which is basically, has always been a fairly crime-ridden city. This is our nation's capital where elections are decided. And then because the crime is so bad, have other states start sending their troops, not just the National Guard there in D.C., but now at least 6 other states are sending their troops, which then Trump can then federalize. So you're having many states' troops on the ground there, and now they're under federal control. So you have in the capital a sort of permanent police presence. So when an election dispute might come up, just hypothetically, I mean, I don't want to be a big pessimist, and I'm going to pretend for the rest of the duration that the Democrats do have a chance of winning, and they might win the next election. I just don't think they're ever going to take power, because this is what's going to happen. Because I think this coup is going to go off a lot smoother than the last one.
That's frightening.
Yeah. Spot on. I don't even know that it's a slow-moving coup anymore. It seems to be moving at a pretty good clip.
Yeah. No, it completely does. But that's because we are involved in all of this. For people who are taking a break from politics or don't keep an eye on what's going on, it is slow enough that they're not going to hear about it.
Yeah, those dudes are correct. It's not a slow-moving coup. It's moving pretty frickin' fast nowadays, and if we don't all stand up, it's going to roll right over all of us and take our democracy with it. And no, that is not hyperbole. So please, like this video, comment below, and get vocal. From the Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve podcast, available everywhere, I'm Steve Harness for Really American Media.